In this lesson, we're going to learn to solve equations with variables on both sides of the equation. The good news is you already know how to do most of this. I'm going to point out this right here on the front of your graphic organizer. This is a special case. If our variables end up suddenly disappearing from the problem, it's going to be a special scenario, which we'll look at closely when it happens. And here's a hint, it's going to actually happen in our second video. So we're going to solve the following equation. We're going to begin by removing all parentheses using the distributive property. So we're going to distribute the 4 to get 4x plus 12. I'm going to recopy the minus 2 equals 2x plus 6. Step 2 says to combine like terms that occur on the same side. So I'm only looking here on the left. And I spot a positive 12 and a negative 2. When I combine that, that's going to give me 4x plus 10, because 12 minus 2 is 10. And now I check for like terms over here on the right. They are not like, so I'm just going to recopy the 2x plus 6. My third step says to use addition or subtraction to move the variables to one side of the equation and the constants to the opposite side. So I'm going to hone in on the variables first. I've got a 4x and a 2x. It doesn't matter which side you take your variables to. I'm going to pick on the little guy here. You know, in life, sometimes the little guy gets picked on. So we're going to subtract 2x from both sides to get rid of it. Don't accidentally divide. Also, notice I lined up my like terms as I did this. 2x's cancel, because anything minus itself is 0. Over here, 4x minus 2x would be 2x. Bring down the plus 10, and I still have a 6 on the right. Now it's a two-step equation that you're an expert at. You're going to undo addition or subtraction. So we're going to subtract 10 from each side, which gives me 2x equals negative 4. And lastly, I'm going to finish this by dividing both sides by 2. Therefore, x is equal to negative 2. Now we're just going to do a few practice problems. So I have two sets of parentheses here. In front of these parentheses, there would be a 1 in either side. So I'm going to bring down this 3, and I'm distributing 1. Well, honestly, kids, when you multiply by 1, nothing changes. So the only thing that happens is those parentheses just disappear on that side. Now over here, I have to distribute negative 1, which is going to cause my signs to change. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3x, and then a negative times a negative 2 is a positive 2. Next, I look on the left for like terms, and I see a 3 and a negative 9. So I like to write my variable first, the positive 3x, and 3 minus 9 is negative 6, so I write minus 6. Now on the right side, again, I'm looking for like terms. 8x minus 3x are like, and that's 5x, and I bring down the plus 2. My next step is to bring my variables to the same side. Again, it doesn't matter which variable I choose to pick on. I could subtract 3x from both sides or 5x. If you're picking on the little guy, you're going to subtract 3, but this time I'm going to show you that it's okay if you pick on the big guy too. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. 3x minus 5x would be negative 2x. Bring down the minus 6 equals positive 2. Again, it is just a two-step equation, so we finish it by adding 6. Gives me negative 2x equals 8. Divide by negative 2, which gives me x equals negative 4. My brain was already thinking of the answer. See if you can get this one started. Pause the video, try the first step. Hopefully you began by distributing. And on the right, you get a decimal, but that's okay because you have calculators, and that would be plus 25.5. I'm going to get my variables on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 3b from each side. Gives me 3b, bring down the minus 12, equals 25.5. I'm down to a two-step equation, so I add 12, which gives me 3b equals 37.5. And lastly, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. When I divide by 3, I get 12.5. Or if you change that to a fraction, that would be 25/2. Here's our last one. I spot parentheses. So I will do 2 times 3x, which would be 6x, and I'm just bringing down the plus 12, equals -3 plus 3x. I'm going to find my variables. I have no like terms on one side, so I'm going to move my variables to the same side. I'm going to choose to move the 3x, so I'm subtracting it. 6x minus 3x is 3x. Bring down the plus 12, and it equals -3. You must undo addition and subtraction. Remember not to undo multiplication and division until the last step. Gives me 3x equals -3 minus 12 is -15. And lastly, you're going to divide both sides by 3 to get a final answer of x equals -5. Practice makes perfect. It's time for you to practice some problems. As you go through them, I encourage you to have your graphic organizer in front of you to look at steps as you go. Reach out with questions. You can do this.